you let the stone tell you what it wants to be. It sounds kind of flaky, but really what it is, if you to give you an example, if you're on your deck having a glass of wine after a long day, and you're looking up in the sky and you see these clouds, and all of a sudden you see a face in the cloud or something, that's pretty much what happens when you look at it. When I look at a piece of stone, it'll suggest a shape to me, and then it becomes a matter of taking the rest of the stone off to get that shape. And a lot of times there's little detours that you have to take because the stone says, no, I don't want you to do that, you have to do this. And so you have to be very flexible to do that. I like to work with soapstone a lot because it's a very earthy stone that goes with almost any kind of decors. When you're carving alabaster, for example, it doesn't like to hammer and chisel very much. Whereas soapstone has a much more of a shock absorbing quality where you can do the hammer and chisel more. And that goes, if you go back to what their base element is, then it gives you an idea. Like alabaster, basically, its base element is silica. So it's almost like the same kind of thing as glass. So you can imagine that a hammer and chisel on glass is not going to be working too well. Well, I've been carving for over 25 years now. When I first started, a friend of ours, who's actually a very good sculptor, or sculptress, she was a retired nurse. So she offered to be our birth coach for our second child. And when she was coming around and chatting with my wife, because they were good friends, she was always bringing the sculpture, and she was working on it a little bit. So I said, hey, I'd like to try that. And so she said, here's a piece of stone, try it out. I did, and I really enjoyed it, first of all. And secondly, it was one of those, I used to do a lot of drawing and painting. And it was always very intimidating looking at a blank piece of paper. I just, where do you start? Where do you put that line? And then when I started working with sculpture, I didn't have that block. Just kind of, I could see something and I could do it. Not that not that I'm saying it was easy. It's just that easier for me anyway.